The Houston Texans absolutely cooked this offseason and added key players like Joe Mixon and Danielle Hunter to give them a roster that's built to contend right now.
What we got here cooking right now is on the right track, and it's a lot of things to look forward to.
How's it going today? My name is Jesse McNamara, and welcome to Point of View. Before we get into it today, I just want to say we always appreciate your feedback and look forward to reading your comments like the one we've got here. And these comments I especially look forward to because I just know Mixed Sports is a Giants fan and is losing it at the fact that Daniel Jones is his best option in 2024. I don't personally know what QB purgatory is like, so I'll just let you rage in peace. Also, for everybody, be sure to stay tuned to the end of this episode to see if you can guess today's trivia question down below. To today's topic, are the Texans next up in the AFC? I think they've not only locked up the AFC South for the foreseeable future, but they could overtake the Ravens, Bengals, and Bills as the Chiefs' top competition for the AFC crown. They were already on that path before this offseason by surprising the league with a trip to the playoffs and a wildcard win after finishing with the second worst record in the league the year before. CJ Stroud looks like a straight-up superstar, and that's got to be the biggest reason for optimism, but there's so much more to it. Will Anderson had an insane rookie season and can be counted on to be a stud going forward, and wideouts Nico Collins and Tank Dell helped the Texans gain the 7th most yards per game through the air in 2023. They also accelerated their rebuilding timeline faster than we've seen it in a while, and general manager Nick Caserio was ready to take advantage of it. He had this to say about the team's offseason plans, as well as his thoughts about entering a championship window.
Free agency is case by case. So you look at the player, you look at his role, what's the value of the player, have an understanding of the market, what are your options, is that the best thing for the football team? In the end, we're going to do what we think is best for the Houston Texans team. DeMeco has said this countless times. I've expressed this countless times. It's not about one person. It's not about one player. Every year is different. We're not really believers in windows. Not really sure what that means. So it's about the 2024 season, trying to put the best team together. What are our options? We'll explore our options, and we'll try to make good decisions, good sound decisions that make sense for our team. Go ahead, Aaron.
If his focus was just on building the best team possible, then he did a great job of it. The defensive line was the biggest beneficiary of the offseason move so far for sure. The Texans' defense was 11th in points given up last season, but they lost D lineman Jonathan Greenard and Sheldon Rankins this offseason, and those two combined for 24 tackles for loss and 18.5 sacks in 2023. So what did Caserio do? He signed Danielle Hunter and Denico Autry. Both are upgrades over the other two players. Hunter just had the best season of his career with 23 tackles for loss and 16.5 sacks. He alone almost makes up for the loss of Greenard and Rankins. Not to mention, Autry had a career-high 11.5 sacks and 12 tackles for a loss in 2023. He and Hunter are going to haunt the young AFC South QBs. Just take a look at this play by Danielle Hunter last season, for example. He starts on the far left of the line and ends up right in Patrick Mahomes' kitchen in a matter of seconds. I just know Mahomes won't be looking forward to a matchup with him in the postseason. And the Texans didn't forget about the offense this offseason either. Their running game was 29th in yards per carry last season, and they lost their top back, Devin Singletary, who signed with the Giants. So Caserio did the same thing he did with the D-line and upgraded, signing Joe Mixon, who we already heard say is fired up to be a Texan. To me, that's a home run signing. Can you just imagine him running this play with the Texans offense? Here against the Lions, the defense bites on the wide receiver reverse and leaves Mixon the entire right side of the field to work with. It only takes a single block from Jamar Chase to free up Mixon for an easy score on 4th and 1. And these moves alone would be enough to make them AFC South favorites, but they don't appear to be done adding to the roster by any means. In his introductory press conference with the Bears, Keenan Allen mentioned the Texans tried to trade for him. Houston clearly thinks they have a need at wideout, and they still have options to fill that role. Cincinnati's T. Higgins publicly requested a trade and would probably be the best option, but they could still go after Brandon Ayuk or Tyler Lockett. The Texans also restructured multiple existing contracts to create upwards of $32 million in cap space, so signing and extending one of those guys is a possibility. They could also use that cap space in the secondary for players like Xavier Howard or Dory Jackson. Both would be great fits and would still leave room to add to the wide receiver room. And they'd have options for that route too. The Texans sent the 23rd overall pick and a 7th round pick in this year's draft to the Vikings for the 42nd pick, a 6th round pick, and next year's 2nd rounder. Presumably, they are thinking of using that 2nd round pick this year on a wideout like Xavier Worthy, who just broke the NFL record for the fastest 40-yard dash ever. In any case, the Texans have multiple avenues to fill out the roster how they see fit. One thing's for sure, though, No matter what additional moves they make going forward, they're going to be a huge problem for the usual AFC contenders, and I truly believe it will be Houston and Kansas City battling it out for a spot in the Super Bowl for years to come. And one thing we've never done here is doubt CJ Stroud's ability. For more on how we thought he should have been the MVP last season, check out our recent point of view. In the moment you've been waiting for, here's the answer to today's trivia question. We appreciate you tuning in this episode of Point of View, and we will see you in the next one.